Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A tornado, damage, and people picking up the pieces.
That's what we're dealing with after severe weather tonight. Many of you were lucky enough to miss the storm, but others not so much. The National Weather Service confirms that we've seen at least one tornado.
Yeah, so let's talk about that with meteorologist Adam Caskey in the Weather Center. Adam, the damage extensive in some areas. Walk us through what people went through tonight.
Well, earlier this evening around 6 to 7 p.m., that's when we had a severe thunderstorm move from Seguin toward Luling, far east of San Antonio. We're just north of I-10, and that's where we had the tornado. But you can see nothing on the radar screen right now. If you've been nervous, you're all right. In San Antonio, it looks like we are clear for the rest of the night. But I do want to point out, we're starting to see a little bit of development far east of San Antonio along I-10, closer to Lavaca County. And then this is what stands out to me as well. Down to the south, near Laredo, a severe thunderstorm just popped up. There are some indications that we're going to see more development south and east of San Antonio as we go through the evening hours. So take a look at this. For example, the tornado watch has been extended to 1 a.m., not for San Antonio. This does not include San Antonio, but it does include Guadalupe County, where we had the witnessed tornado on the ground. Earlier today, neighboring Gonzales County, Wilson, Karnes counties, DeWitt, Lavaca counties, you're all included within that tornado watch until 1 a.m., meaning conditions are favorable for a tornado should a thunderstorm develop in those locations. And we'll take a closer look at this futurecast, take you through time the rest of the night tonight, and even talk about the rest of the week, which does include a few temperature swings in a bit.
Adam, thank you. So now that things have calmed down closer to our area, people are cleaning up.
Yeah, one place that's reeling is Kingsbury. That's where Lee Waldman joins us lively. It's a small city, but big damage there.
You can say that again, Steve. A lot of damage around here, especially on the outskirts of Kingsbury. That's where we are right now off of Appling Road. I want to point out this piece of tin that's hanging on a power line behind me. Now, we are safe distance away from that power line. There's no power actually running through it, and that's because of some damage to power lines here. But that piece of tin, that came flying off the roof of a barn in that pasture about 100 yards behind me. Lots of damage just like that all throughout this area. I spoke with the Office of Emergency Management. They say they're in for a long night.
Twisted metal and broken branches, debris littering Appling Road in Kingsbury.
We have multiple trees down, we have houses damaged, we have property damage, so we're just trying to assess and see what we got.
The damage was in pockets here outside of the main town. What you see here, it used to be a travel trailer. The homeowner tells me a tree came down on top of his home, so he's not sure what condition the roof is in. With significant damage to power lines, people here living in the dark.
I'm working on the generator right now, so without power, I don't know what the fix time will be on that.
Harry Cox was driving home when the storm came through. His 10-year-old daughter, Abby, and his wife took shelter in the bathtub.
It's just a lot of wind and the knocking. I run in, my mom's running towards me, so then we turn around, go to the bathroom, and we sit there. I'm panicking, she's panicking, and people are calling us.
Pieces of Harry's barn are scattered throughout the area. He said it was used mostly for storage. Abby's play set is now in the pasture. They're both just thankful everyone is okay.
People talk about it and you see the devastation on the news, and it just doesn't hit home until you drive up and there it is, and your family's standing outside, and that's all that matters.
Pinder tells me at this point tonight there's no reports of anyone hurt from the storm. He says his office is in for a long night, checking on not only people but also their property. Now, if you have any damage from these storms tonight, the Texas Division of Emergency Management is asking that you report it. Come to KSAT.com, click on this story. We have a link for you to do that right there. Live in Kingsbury, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Lee, thank you. And now our team coverage continues tonight with meteorologist Justin Horn. He spent the evening tracking those storms and now shows us more of the damage near Luling, not too far from where Lee is. And that's where a homeowner is now trying to just pick up the pieces.
Thankfully, the homeowners tell us they were not here at the time of the tornado, but they are here gathering their belongings, and understandably, they didn't want to talk on camera. What we can show you is that the roof was almost completely taken off this home and thrown here into this field beside us. Inside the home, which is only 2 years old, the damage was extensive. Windows were broken and water was pouring into the living room. The homeowner scrambling to find dry clothes to take with them.
What do you think?
Bad. That's really sad.
Neighbors jumped in almost immediately to assist, many of them helping to clear the road in front of the home, which was covered in tree limbs and debris.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help the county clean the roads up here. Trees are down. As you can see, my neighbor's house is tore up, but we'll get it cleaned up here in a minute. Yeah, it happened so fast. I mean, you don't ever know.
While this home appeared to see the most damage, we also found downed power lines, debris, and snapped trees near Startown. This truck got caught up in low wires that drooped across State Highway 80. It appears the tornado may have traveled several miles. The National Weather Service will be busy over the next few days surveying damage and determining the strength of the tornado. Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
And it wasn't just our viewing area. Caught on camera, a tower cam getting hit by a tornado in Round Rock. This is just 20 miles north of Austin. You see the funnel cloud getting closer and closer. Then eventually the camera gets knocked over. There it goes right there and ends up facing the ground. And speaking of the ground, here's video from the same area showing the damage left behind. You can see this bank right off I-35 severely damaged with large pieces of the building everywhere on the ground. A car even flipped on its roof during the storm. Several twisted trees in the area as well.
Wow, and if we go more than 200 miles farther out, a possible tornado ravaged through that area. You're looking at the area of Bowie, about 60 miles northwest off of Fort Worth. Local reports there say that emergency crews are performing search and efforts in that area right now. We're told that multiple structures have been flattened.
Back here at home, viewers have been sending us their photos of hail that came down this afternoon and tonight, some about nickel size. Along with gray skies earlier, there were reports of hail in New Braunfels, parts of the hill country. If you'd like to send us your photos, just look for this article on KSAT.com. It's right on our homepage.
And you know, today was just one of those days where you really needed our KSAT weather app because it's the best way to get live Doppler radar and up to the second information about storms and other weather activity. And the best way for you to get that is to download our KSAT weather app. You just see that QR code on your screen. You just whip out your phone, take a picture of it, and it'll direct you right to the area where you can download that app.
And we'll check back in with Adam here in a few minutes. But first, a grand jury indicting a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy tonight for shooting and killing a man inside a home in Elmendorf in March of 2020. Deputy Brandon Moran is facing a felony charge of manslaughter in the death of 47-year-old Jesus Benito Garcia. As of tonight, Deputy Moran is not in custody. That's according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. A wrongful death lawsuit was filed against him and Bexar County earlier this month. It states that Garcia was actually holding a screwdriver to his own neck, threatening to harm himself when the deputy repeatedly fired his service weapon at him less than 10 seconds after bursting into the home with that gun drawn. Moran will be placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of his criminal case.
Now switching gears now tonight, one San Antonio family is in unimaginable pain. A father accidentally ran over his 2-year-old daughter with his vehicle while backing up on a driveway. That little girl did not survive. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has identified her as Royalty Thomas. And as police look into what happened, first responders are struggling because, you know, they're the ones who have to keep their cool while dealing with emergencies like what happened today. The Night Team's Patty Santos talks to a chaplain who tells us that it's a heavy burden that first responders have to learn to process.
San Antonio police and first responders answer the call to a child being run over by her father backing out of the driveway.
You can't even just put yourself in his place at this time.
It happened at the Casa Point Villas along I-10 frontage road north of Houston Road. Police hope it's a reminder to anyone behind the wheel.
We need to try to do everything that we can to ensure whenever you're operating a motor vehicle that there's no children around, behind, or in front of the vehicle so that we can try our best to avoid this happening again.
Sadly, tragedies like this happen often, and first responders witness them firsthand.
We see what happened, we deal with it, and it actually becomes a part of you. It's something that you live with.
Deacon Jerry Whitley, a retired firefighter, now chaplain, says everyone processes scenes in different ways. But he says emergency agencies have gotten better about giving crews self-care and resources to process the trauma.
It's a traumatic scene. There may be quite a few crews involved, and they'll put them out of service. They'll get people out there, and there's a possibility that they could even go home.
Today, crews are taking the tragic death in the East Side hard.
It is a lot for everyone, including the EMS and fire responding to the scene. It's not something that you want to see.
When you hear those sirens, let's say a prayer for the first responders.
And we spoke with another chaplain who says first responders have a lot of resources readily available, but many churches also provide some of those resources to them. We have a couple of links that might be able to help you on KSAT.com. Reporting live from downtown, Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Patty. A curfew set for the people still in Ukraine as the war intensifies. What President Joe Biden planning to do to bring this deadly war to an end?
Question after question, answer after answer is what we saw on Capitol Hill from Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. What we can expect in the coming days from her Supreme Court confirmation hearing.
Computer hackers attack again in Bexar County, this time at the appraisal district. What information was compromised and how this might affect you? Next on the Nightbeat.
Be patient, please. That is what the Bexar County Appraisal District is asking from you as it recovers from a ransomware attack. This happened yesterday at about 10 a.m. Staff noticed suspicious activity and discovered that their email system was down. Staff says that there was a ransom note, but the hacker or hackers didn't demand money or even leave any contact information. So here's the deal for you. If you need anything from the appraisal district, all you have to do is call because staff says that the office is operating.
Website is still available and is unaffected, so the public can use it. Our phone system is up and running with no problem, so people can call.
So here's the deal for you. They say that after an initial assessment, it looks like the hackers didn't access the records database, which would have all of your sensitive property information. So the hackers didn't get that. Right now, the FBI knows about the attack.
History being made on Capitol Hill today. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, one day into her confirmation hearing to become the next Supreme Court Justice of the United States.
I am confirmed. I commit to you that I will work productively to support and defend the Constitution.
The 51-year-old mother of two considered the most heavily vetted Supreme Court nominee in 30 years, having been confirmed 3 times before by the full Senate. Members of the San Antonio Black Lawyers Association say after more than 233 years, it is about time for more diversity on the bench.
Shows that we have a long way to go. This is a start. We will be one step closer to where we need to be.
Over the next 2 days, committee senators will get their chance to grill the nominee. As a reminder, if confirmed, she would take over the seat of Justice Stephen Breyer, who announced his retirement back in January. The capital city of Kyiv suffering its deadliest attack yet, just days before President Biden set to meet with foreign leaders overseas to discuss the crisis. Kyiv ordering another 35-hour curfew amid fears Russian kill teams may be in the city. Despite the aerial attacks, a senior U.S. defense official says Russian forces are not making any progress on the ground. Meanwhile, in Russia, a court outlawing Facebook and Instagram, claiming those organizations are extremists. The U.S. State Department condemning that decision, saying the assault on access to information must stop. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Okay, now we're going to take a live look outside here along I-10 and the Loop 410 interchange there, where you can see not that many people on the roads, probably because of all that was happening earlier today. Lots of people are safely at home. And Adam, just tell us what else we can expect for the rest of the night.
I think here in San Antonio, we're okay. Just the 10% chance, off chance of a brief shower popping up, but that would be it. The primary threat, I think, is east of San Antonio. We're going to get into the specifics in a bit, but I want to take a look at some of our photos from viewers earlier today. This is in Poth, and you see that large hail and even that kind of spiky hail that developed in parts of that thunderstorm. This is the severe thunderstorm that moved through New Braunfels. Very large hail there, damaging size hail. This is another one from New Braunfels and New Braunfels again. You get the idea. And this is even eastern San Antonio, far east side, or even near Brandeis High School, actually. Northeastern corner of San Antonio and Bexar County got clipped. This is Cibolo, and there's quarter-size hail. And I want to even end with this photo. This is submitted by our viewer. It says, my niece's car in Round Rock after the tornado struck. And this brings up a whole nother topic, why we always say, if you're in your car and you get that notification of the tornado warning, at your location, you need to get out of the car. You're actually safer to get far away from your car and get in a building, preferably. If no building, you're actually safer to find a ditch to go lie down in than you would be in a flipped vehicle like this that gets carried away. That's what's suggested. Okay, let's take a look at radar. Not a lot out there, but you see all those little symbols, the red, the white ones on the map. These are storm reports from today. See numerous hail reports, Schertz, Cibolo area, Seguin, toward Luling, and then these red and white logos or icons there, they indicate the confirmed tornado, actually witnessed by eyes, not just Doppler radar, but witnessed by actual people, and multiple tornadoes across central Texas here, and particularly just outside of Austin. I mean, we showed you video from Round Rock up toward Round Rock. They still have some thunderstorms near Taylor and moving to the northeast, but we could actually have a little bit of redevelopment around here as well. We're going to get to that in a moment. I'm going to turn off these storm reports, and I quickly want to touch on some good news from today, and that would be our rainfall. I mean, take a look at these swaths. Obviously, not everybody got it, but we did have a few pockets of good, heavy, soaking rainfall. Came with some hail, but right along I-10, take a look at some of these accumulations, at least estimated by the Doppler radar, eastern Bexar County, about an inch right along I-10 there. And then where the severe storm went just north of Seguin and north of I-10 with the tornado, they got about an inch of rainfall, and that's not all. Up in Comal County, Canyon Lake, Smithson Valley, basically Bulverde up to Smithson Valley, Startsville, Canyon Lake, some impressive accumulations as well on the order of over an inch in some of those instances. So that's the plus side. Still have that tornado watch until 1 a.m. for locations east of San Antonio, as there are some indications that we could have more development. Now, I think this computer model is a little aggressive with this development, but here's the possibility, at least by midnight, storms flaring back up again. We're talking Wilson, Karnes, Gonzales, DeWitt, Lavaca counties, and that would be through about 1 a.m. and then it all moves out of our area. Dry line, difference between dry air to the west, muggy air to the east, starting to retreat westward, but it's going to be pushing east again, and that could help to trigger some of those storms east of San Antonio, along with the cold front. Temperatures right now, well, 60s and 70s. It's not bad outside. 61 Kerrville, 73 in San Antonio. And as we go through tonight, very quiet in town. Temperatures just gradually falling to near 50. And then tomorrow, nothing but sunshine, but a windy day. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Afternoon temperatures in the low 70s, and actually a chill in the air Wednesday morning near 40, and then a high of 70, but we quickly get back into the 80s toward the end of the week.
All right, Adam, thank you.
All right, it wasn't Hollywood, but the Spurs certainly had a dramatic end of the game last night.
Yeah, and kind of consequently, what was their in-game strategy to actually help Keldon Johnson provide the game-winning basket? When we come back, Josh Richardson will reveal that, and the Cowboys actually re-sign a player. Shocker. Coming up. Our San Antonio Spurs spent the night today in San Francisco. In fact, they held a railroad practice before departing tomorrow for Portland. That's where they'll face the Blazers before they take on Portland in back-to-back games to tip off April at home. That's 3 games in 10 days against the same team, and that's after the Spurs were able to beat the Warriors without Steph Curry in San Francisco last night to open up their 4-game road trip to make room for the NCAA Tournament Sweet 16 in the South Regional at the AT&T Center this week. Josh Richardson was a beast last night, leading the Silver and Black with 25 points off the bench, including 3 3 three-pointers. This basket put the Spurs back in front in the fourth quarter after they were down 84-83 to enter the final period. And a three-pointer with just over a minute to play was one of 4 baskets he made in the final period. Helped the Spurs hold off the Warriors 110-108.
He's been great for us since he got here. And tonight was his night. And, you know, we just kept looking for him. And he had some big shots. And, I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm glad that, you know, he's hitting shots and he's out there healthy and being able to go to war with us every night.
All right, Josh revealed what went down for the game-winning basket. Jakob Poeltl tied the game with this free throw with just over 2 seconds left at 108 all. But he missed his second, and Keldon Johnson was there to grab the ball and put it back up and in for the game-winning basket. But what you may not have seen is that DeJounte Murray flew in and tipped the ball that set up Keldon.
As Jakob was shooting his second free throw, I actually looked over and I told DeJounte, I said, I'm crashing, get back. And he looked at me and said, no, I'm crashing, get back. So I stayed back and he crashed and he got a hand on the ball. And then I seen KJ get it and he just went up super quick. It was a smart play.
Just the way they drew it up. Next up, the Blazers on Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have lost another offensive lineman. That's after La'el Collins signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's after the two sides agreed to a 3-year contract worth up to $30 million. The Bengals, who are coming out their first Super Bowl appearance in 33 years, are signing Collins to help protect quarterback Joe Burrow, who was sacked 7 times in the 23-20 loss of the Rams. And that's after the Cowboys released Collins to save $10 million against the salary cap. Connor Williams is also out after signing a 2-year, $14 million deal with Miami. The Cowboys have been able to re-sign safety Jaron Kearse to a 2-year, $10 million contract. That's according to the NFL Network. Kearse just completed his first season in Dallas, starting a career-high 15 games, a total of 101 tackles, 10 passes defended, 9 tackles for a loss, and 2 interceptions, with all of those results career best. 28-year-old started his career at 4 seasons in Minnesota before a single year in Detroit before signing with Dallas. After 14 seasons, quarterback Matt Ryan is leaving the Atlanta Falcons to move to the Indianapolis Colts. That's after the 2 teams made the trade today for a 3rd-round pick this year. At the same time, the Falcons signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year contract worth almost $19 million. The Colts needed a quarterback after they traded Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders for 2 3rd-round picks this year and next year. Lefty is out at the Masters. Next. The last game of the night in the NCAA tournament this weekend went to overtime to decide between TCU and Arizona, with the winner headed to the Alamo City for the Sweet 16 at the AT&T Center. The Horned Frogs were down by 8 points in the second half, but came back by scoring 12 straight points behind Chuck O'Bannon Jr. and Mike Miles Jr. to actually take the lead 72-70. Now leading 75-72, Arizona's Benedict Mathurin hits the straightaway 3 and ties the game at 75-0. We're headed to overtime. That's where Mathurin scored 6 more points of his 30 in the 85-80 final in overtime, eliminating TCU. So as a result, Arizona is headed to San Antonio. They play the second game against Houston on Thursday at 8:59. First game starts at 6:29 between Michigan and Villanova. The 100th anniversary of the Valero Texas Open just received a commitment from the 2 recently named Ryder Cup captains. Henrik Stenson and Zach Johnson will play in the tournament, scheduled for March the 31st to April the 3rd, a week before the Masters at the JW Marriott Resort and TPC course. Earlier this month, Johnson, a 2-time Valero Texas Open champion in 2008 and again in 2009, was named the U.S. Ryder Cup team captain, and Stenson, who will be making his second Valero Texas Open appearance after he was appointed captain for Team Europe. Speaking of the Masters, for the first time since 1994, Phil Mickelson will not compete in next month's tournament at the Augusta National Course. Lefty was on the list of participants until today, when his name was included in the notification of past champions who will not play. Last month, Mickelson announced he was taking some time away from golf after author Alan Shipnutt released an excerpt from his unauthorized biography of Mickelson, in which Lefty said he was working on an agreement for a breakaway league from the PGA Tour, financed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. His comments have cost him sponsorships with KPMG, Amstel Light, Workday, and Callaway has paused their sponsorship, according to ESPN. He has since apologized for what he had to say, but that hasn't necessarily lessened the criticism right now.
Yeah, the controversy's still there.
You got it.
Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.
So quiet the rest of this week. I mean, unfortunately, we could use some rain, and we're going to have nothing but sunshine. But temperatures will be up and down a bit. I mean, jacket weather Wednesday morning. By the afternoon, only near 70 degrees, so running below average then. But we quickly get back to 80 in no time by Thursday.
Yeah,
we need some rain.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that does it for the Night Beat. Don't forget that Good Morning San Antonio starts at 4:30.
Thanks for joining us.